information I have says all public library boards statewide are selected by county or city elected officials or the legislative delegation in which the libraries operate.
When you read that out of that bill,
Yes,
that's
not
it.
out of the bill. This is the talking points on the bill, sir.
Oh, they gave you some hot talking points then. Because they said, your talking point said, this is the manner that the libraries are selected.
All right, so with that, Mr. President, I'd like to move that we pass this final passage using previous roll without objection. And thank you.
Hearing none, so ordered.
This bill was brought before the Senate 7 years ago by Senator Dick Brubaker, and it passed successfully in the Senate and it died in the House. The substance of the bill is the same, dealing with requiring a unanimous jury sentencing vote to impose the death penalty. The only difference would be I'd like to make it retroactive. The substance of the bill is absolutely the same.
Any further comments?
I move in favor.
All right, is there a second? Not receiving a second, the bill is not given a favorable report.
No quorum?
Well, we started with a quorum, and so because people leave doesn't make it not a quorum.
HB 309 provides paid parental leave for the birth or adoption of a child aged 3 and under for state employees.
Appropriate time, I'll move favorable, but I also see that there's an amendment.
I agreed to lower the time of paid parental leave from 8 weeks to 6 weeks and to change the language so that it applies to the mother and for the birth of a child and a primary caregiver in the case of adoption.
My wife had 6 kids, and I took off a little bit extra when I had a couple of NICU, but others than that, I mean, it was about 3 days and back to work. And I tell you what, this current generation we've got that thinks the men need to have 6 weeks off, or 8 or 12, I can't accept. We ain't the one delivering the baby. Our body's not repairing. So I support the amendment and would move for its adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I be recognized.
Senator Stewart.
We are dealing with the advent of postpartum. Women are really struggling, and they feel like they're alone. We're seeing increased suicides with mothers. I know men may not have delivered the babies, but they need to be there. If you're a husband or a dad and someone who is going through family planning, I think this is a very worthwhile bill as is, and I would encourage my colleagues to vote against this amendment that cuts out fathers and parents.
There are quite a few folks that are here today that have a personal interest in this piece of legislation, and I want to acknowledge them in the room. This piece of legislation is the Jawan Dallas and Stephen Perkins Act. We were talking specifically about what happened to Jawan Dallas in Mobile and the impediments that the family faced for trying to gain access of the body cam video. And the attorneys there said it actually was the piece of legislation that we passed last year, year before, that ended up being the impediment to them getting access. In addition to that case, we were hearing about what happened to Stephen Perkins, and again, impediments that the family had there as it relates to body cam. I want to say this, this piece of legislation is not an indictment on law enforcement. What it does is allow body cam video to become a matter of public record. I do want to acknowledge Mrs. Perkins, who is here, Stephen Perkins' wife, Petrola Perkins. We also have Anissa Lige, Terrence Atkins, Rodney Gordon, Danny, I'm gonna say his last name wrong, Sophia, Michael Stovall, Alvin Mosley, and Mr. Perkins' brother, Nicholas Perkins, is also watching.